Land of Magic Soldiers by Daniel Bergner is a compelling exploration of the complex and tragic circumstances in Sierra Leone during its brutal civil war. Published in 2003, the book weaves together first-hand accounts, personal stories, and broader political analysis to create a vivid picture of a nation torn apart by violence, corruption, and the lingering effects of colonialism. Bergner, a journalist with a talent for immersive storytelling, delves into the lives of individuals from various backgrounds, soldiers, rebels, civilians, and expatriates, offering a multifaceted view of the conflict and its devastating consequences. Background of the Sierra Leone Civil War. The Sierra Leone Civil War began in 1991 and lasted until 2002, marking one of the bloodiest conflicts in modern African history. The Revolutionary United Front, UF, a rebel group led by Fode Sanko, initiated the war with the aim of overthrowing the government. However, what began as a political rebellion quickly devolved into a campaign of terror against the civilian population. The UF became infamous for its brutal tactics, including the use of child soldiers, mass amputations, and widespread sexual violence. Sierra Leone's conflict was fueled by a combination of factors, including government corruption, poverty, ethnic tensions, and, most notably, the struggle for control over the country's rich diamond resources. The term blood diamonds became synonymous with Sierra Leone, as diamonds mined in rebel-controlled areas were sold on the black market to finance the war. This connection between natural resources and violent conflict is a central theme in Bergner's narrative. The title, Magic Soldiers. The title, In the Land of Magic Soldiers, refers to the belief among many fighters in the conflict that they were protected by magical powers. This belief in supernatural protection was common among both the rebels and government-backed militias, such as the Civil Defense Forces, CDF, which included traditional hunters known as camajors. These fighters often wore amulets and engaged in rituals that they believed would make them invincible in battle. Bergner explores how these beliefs provided psychological comfort and courage to soldiers facing the horrors of war, but he also examines how such superstition blurred the lines between reality and fantasy, contributing to the chaos and brutality of the conflict. Bergner's writing is both journalistic and literary, blending detailed reportage with evocative storytelling. He spent significant time in Sierra Leone and conducting interviews with individuals on all sides of the conflict. His ability to gain the trust of his subjects allows him to present intimate portraits of people who might otherwise be reduced to stereotypes in Western media coverage. The book is structured around the personal stories of several key figures, whose experiences illustrate the broader themes of the war. These narratives are interwoven with Bergner's reflections on the history and politics of Sierra Leone, as well as his own observations as an outsider trying to make sense of the violence. One of the most striking aspects of In the Land of Magic Soldiers is the way Bergner humanizes individuals who are often portrayed as mere villains or victims. He presents a nuanced picture of people caught in impossible situations, highlighting the moral ambiguities of war. The child soldiers. Perhaps the most haunting stories in the book are those of child soldiers, some as young as 10 years old, who were forcibly recruited by the REF. Bergner describes how these children were often drugged and subjected to brutal initiation rituals designed to desensitize them to violence. Yet, despite their horrific actions, Bergner portrays these children as victims themselves, manipulated, traumatized, and robbed of their innocence. The camajors. The camajors, traditional hunters who became a key part of the government's defense against the rebels, are another focal point of the narrative. Bergner explores their belief in magic and their role as both protectors and perpetrators of violence. While the camajors were celebrated by some as heroes, they too committed atrocities, blurring the lines between good and evil. Civilians and survivors. Bergner also gives voice to the civilians caught in the crossfire. He shares the stories of people who endured unimaginable suffering, from amputees who lost their limbs in rebel attacks to women who were raped and enslaved. These accounts are heartbreaking, but they also reveal the resilience and courage of ordinary people in the face of extreme adversity. Foreigners and aid workers. The book also examines the role of foreigners in Sierra Leone, including aid workers, peacekeepers, and diamond traders. Bergner is critical of the international community's response to the conflict, highlighting the failures of the United Nations and other organizations to protect civilians and stop the flow of blood diamonds. He also explores the ethical dilemmas faced by expatriates working in a war zone, who must navigate the fine line between helping and exploiting the local population. Themes and analysis. In the Land of Magic Soldiers, delves into several key themes that resonate beyond the specific context of Sierra Leone. 1. The legacy of colonialism. Bergner traces the roots of Sierra Leone's conflict back to colonial past. As a former British colony, Sierra Leone inherited a system of governance characterized by corruption, inequality, and ethnic divisions. The British colonial administration's focus on extracting resources rather than building sustainable institutions left the country vulnerable to instability after independence. Bergner suggests that the war was, in part, a consequence of this historical legacy. 2. The role of natural resources. The connection between Sierra Leone's diamond wealth and its civil war is a central focus of the book. Bergner explores how the illegal diamond trade fueled the conflict, enabling both the rebels and corrupt government officials to profit from the suffering of the population. The concept of resource curse is evident throughout the narrative, as the country's natural riches become a source of exploitation and violence, rather than prosperity. 3. Violence and humanity. One of the most powerful aspects of Bergner's book is his exploration of the human capacity for both violence and compassion. He refuses to simplify the conflict into a narrative of good versus evil, instead highlighting the moral complexities faced by individuals in wartime. Bergner's portrayal of child soldiers, in particular, challenges readers to grapple with difficult questions about guilt, responsibility, and the possibility of redemption. 4. Belief and superstition. The title's reference to magic soldiers underscores the role of belief and superstition in the conflict. Bergner examines how magical thinking provided a sense of control and protection in an otherwise chaotic and terrifying environment. At the same time, he shows how such beliefs could also perpetuate violence and hinder efforts at reconciliation. Number 5. The failure of the international community. Bergner is critical of the international response to the Sierra Leone conflict. He highlights the ineffectiveness of UN peacekeeping forces and the complicity of foreign governments and corporations in the blood diamond trade. The book raises important questions about the responsibilities of the global community in addressing conflicts fueled by economic interests and political indifference. Reception and impact. In the Land of Magic Soldiers was widely praised for its unflinching portrayal of the Sierra Leone Civil War and its insightful analysis of the broader issues at play. Critics lauded Bergner's ability to combine rigorous journalism with literary storytelling, creating a work that is both informative and emotionally powerful. The book was a finalist for the 2003 Los Angeles Times Book Prize and received the 2004 Letter Ulysses Award for the Art of Reportage. The book has been used in academic settings to teach about African history, conflict studies, and journalism. It also contributed to broader awareness of the Sierra Leone conflict and the issue of blood diamonds, which gained international attention through subsequent media coverage and the 2006 film Blood Diamond. In the Land of Magic Soldiers is a profound and deeply moving exploration of the Sierra Leone Civil War. Through vivid storytelling and thoughtful analysis, Daniel Bergner brings to life the human stories behind the headlines, offering a nuanced and compassionate portrayal of a nation in crisis. The book is not only a testament to the resilience of the Sierra Leonean people, but also a powerful indictment of the global forces that contributed to their suffering. It remains an essential read for anyone seeking to understand the complexities of modern conflict and the enduring impact of colonialism, resource exploitation, and international indifference.